I don't wish to put a too fine a point on it, but in case you haven't heard, she's dead. It's been an interesting week, I guess. Firstly, I must say that I was one of the first persons to acknowledge or even be aware that the Queen was dying. There were lots of indicators: not turning up to meetings, not turning up to press releases, having trouble going to the toilet. There were lots of issues in relation to the Queen, and it was easy to surmise that she was literally on her way out. And when the news came last week, well, I wasn't surprised. I know that there were some people out there who were. They thought for some miraculous reason she was going to live forever, but that wasn't going to be the case either. So when she died, I was interested to know, firstly, how I would feel. Didn't care. And then, which was a surprise to me, thought I would, strangely enough, but I didn't. And then I was interested in everybody else's response. I thought, well, what will the world say, particularly those people who have no connection with the Queen, places like the United States, most countries in Europe? What would they think about the fact that she'd passed away? And lo and behold, we were met with a great deal of, I guess the only word I can say is sadness. For the most part, there were a number of people who thought, well, she did rule for 70 years, but what did she rule over? What power and authority did she have to do all the things that she wasn't able to do and didn't do? What sort of authority did she have in terms of her own government? And what responsibility did she take for all of the atrocities that were committed against those people that lived under her empire? And I guess they're questions which all of us at some point may have to answer. Do we need to answer it now? Well, initially I thought, well, we need to give the poor old dear a bit of time, to rest, take it easy on her long journey to eternity. And then I started to think, well, how long's long? And I decided it wasn't very long, because I became sick and tired of watching people wear black on all the TV shows that you could imagine, talking about and associating themselves with a person whom they didn't really know. Now, the reason why I say that is that I would suggest that the Crown, the monarchy, is the least transparent organisation or body of people that you can imagine. It is hidden from view. We do not know what they say to anybody. We have the tabloids to rely on in order to tell us the murky, unheard of, disdainful truths that are about the royal family. But on the whole, we do not know what it is that they say or do to others. Now, she meets every week, I believe, with the Prime Minister, or she was, doesn't do it now. Chucky the Third is the one who will be meeting with the Prime Minister. And we don't know ever what they say. We don't know what opinion she had on certain things, major issues like climate change, immigration, the fact that she had an empire that abused, that killed, that annihilated countries in its wake. We don't hear her, or never heard her comment about any of those things. We don't hear them talk about the atrocities, which are clearly part of the empire over which she saw. We don't really know what she did. She had some 600 organisations for which she was a charity, and it's hard to imagine how she could have organised that into her calendar year, but clearly she did, or she had other people doing it for her. We're very much aware of the fact that the Queen and the royal family in particular did very, very little. We do know that Chucky the Third, though, did talk about, I should say, climate change, and had a political view about certain issues, but has now declared that he will no longer have those views. It's almost as if someone has attacked him with some electrodes and excavated any views or ideas or moral standings that he might have had, because now he's in a neutral type role. And a role for which he doesn't earn any money, but his royal family garners a whole host of cash from the public purse. So, should we be mourning the fact that Queen Liz has passed on? Well, I think we need to be considerate. And we need to at least consider the fact that she had, a couple of sons and a daughter. She had a few grandchildren. She lost a daughter-in-law along the way. She's lost a few, actually. One of them died. The others just decided that they didn't want to live with their partners anymore. She has a pedophile, so-called alleged pedophile, as a son. So there's some things to be concerned about, I guess. But there again, we don't need to be concerned because they don't do anything. They are an advantage to the UK economy because for some reason people want to go there and stare at Buckingham Palace. I mean, I must confess something myself and my wife did some time back. But apart from that, what in the hell are they doing? No one seems to know, no one seems to care, but everybody is sad. Sad that somebody's died. She was 96, couldn't expect her to live forever, but sad nevertheless, because she was a constant, they tell us. She brought about consistency. We always knew where we stood with her, even though we never knew what her views were. We always knew that they were an institution, and I guess we should celebrate institutions. Here in Australia, we should probably not be celebrating much at all, because at the end of the day, it is important that we discover who we are, that we have a voice for Indigenous people, and that the voice which we hear from the United Kingdom in terms of a monarchy is fading fast, very fast, in fact, to the point whereby hopefully we can dispense with any idea of a Governor-General or governors in each state and decide upon somebody that's really worthy, someone that has value, a system which is not reliant upon an empire such as the United Kingdom, a dwindling empire at that. I'm hoping that it dwindles even further. I hope that we never go to see Chuck III, that we decide to do it on our own, as we've been really doing for well over a century now. If you're Indigenous, an Indigenous Australian or Indigenous person from any country, I guess you must be wondering, what is this all about? Why are we celebrating a woman who spent 70 years doing nothing, whose empire raped and pillaged many, many countries? Why are we feeling sad about that? We shouldn't be. We should be angry. And there are some people in the UK, I believe, who are expressing their anger. And while they're expressing it, they're being arrested for their freedom of speech. It's sad, but it's true. So let's see what happens. Watch this space. I'm sure that in future videos I'll be talking further about this, and I'd like to suggest that if you are watching this video on YouTube, then please subscribe and become a follower, because there'll be more videos to follow. So thanks everybody. Thanks for being part of my show. Take care, look after yourselves, and be safe.